Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'd like to talk about some interesting features about the sixth house that possibly you didn't consider, because I'm always looking for those very specific, interesting things that are not generalities that will teach us so much about people we know in charts and give us information that we can help to prevent things or help people with. So the sixth house is the house that deals with health and healing. And what a lot of people don't understand is it deals with how we process things, specifically our food. Because why? Think about this. It's relative to the sign Virgo, which Virgo is the sign that deals with, it's the sixth sign, which deals with health and healing, diet, nutrition. Virgos are very hygienic and always worrying about everything, but they're usually something about health in their lives. So that's relative to what the sixth house is about. So I find that the sixth house deals with digestion too, how we process our foods that we take in. Do we digest well? And I have found that for most people, when the moon is in the sixth house, it can cause digestive upsets or problems. Yes. So I want you to know that looking at the sixth house, when you see the moon there, be aware that people usually have possibly problems with their stomach or their digestion. Because why? The moon actually rules the stomach. The fourth house rules the stomach. And sometimes when people have a connection between the fourth house and the moon, they have problems with digesting their food. Or you know what else? They can hold their emotions in their stomach. And when they get upset, their stomach hurts. Yeah, you'll find that out. So here's another thing. Whenever we have a connection between the second house and the sixth house, people usually have something to do with food or diet or eating or cooking, something to that effect. Because why? The second house is what we eat. It's what we ingest through our mouth. So when you have it connected to the sixth house, sometimes people can have some kind of, they can be chefs or they can deal with a business now that's around food or drink or diet. And I want to show you a couple of charts that I feel like will be relative in explaining this. First of all, I wanted to put up the chart of Emerald Lagasse. And those of you that are into food or foodies and watch a Food Network, you got to know who Emerald is, right? He is the guy that does BAM, with his spices and things. And, he's from New Orleans, which I'm partial to, but I think he's from the Northeast. But, he made his his success in New Orleans with the New Orleans type food. But let's put his chart up and let's see if we can see something about food and diet, because he is a celebrity chef that is quite amazing. As a matter of fact, I believe it was in the 90s. Yes, Martha Stewart bought his label and his business for $50 million. So this guy is a successful chef. So put his chart up here and go to the sixth house. What's there? Notice he has Moon conjunct Ketu in the sixth house. So get a load of that and realize that the moon in this chart, it's a sensitivity. The moon always deals with that ability to be hypersensitive. And that could rule taste, of course. So he's got this sense of taste, and K2 being with the moon really makes it magnified, high degree of sensitivity with his taste. And it is in Pisces. Wow. That's emotional, that's a very sensitive, watery sign. So Moon Ketu in the sixth house. And let me just say that this moon In terms of its rulership, it rules what? The 10th house. So if the moon rules his 10th house and it's in the 6th house, he was destined to be a chef. So I get that. Emerald is an amazing chef, and he loves what he does, and he's very, very successful just by noting the very important aspects of this chart dealing with the 6th house. Now let me show you another chart just to give you a little bit more of an example. So now I want to look at one of the Gallo brothers. So it is Ernest Gallo, and if you've heard of Gallo wines, and you know this is what their business was, and they are no longer here. Ernest and Julio Gallo are no longer here, but I wanted to show you his chart for an example of somebody that's in the wine business, because this deals with the beverage that we take in and we drink. And look at where the ruler of the 2nd, look at his chart. He has a Virgo ascendant, but Libra is on his 2nd house, dealing with the mouth, what you ingest. So the 2nd house ruler, Venus, goes to the 6th house. So here is a connection between the 2nd house and the 6th house. And many times you'll find people are in a business that deals with things that we consume. So that's really a strong, powerful, and not only that, his chart ruler is Mercury, ruler of the 1st house. So the ruler of his chart goes to the 6th house, but is conjoined the planet that rules the 2nd house of the food we eat. So bringing these two together, almost like it brings him together with food, diet, nutrition, things that we ingest, and that's his business. But it's with the 2nd house ruler, our mouth, what we take in. So I find that absolutely fascinating. People that do have these connections to businesses that rule what we eat will have this. Now I'm going to show you one more chart, and you may or may not recognize this person. Her name is Lindsay Wagner, and I'm probably showing my age, but she was very, very popular in the 70s as a bionic woman. And so she was like a big television celebrity back in the day when she was the bionic woman. But I noticed that she has in her chart Moon conjunct Rahu in Aries. And this is another prime example of when you find the moon in the 6th house, it can deal with digestion problems. And come to find out, poor Lindsay had major problems with her stomach. She had bleeding in her stomach. She had all sorts of terrible problems. So you can go find out, this was probably dealing with the fact that they're even in Aries, which can deal with these bleeding ulcers that Lindsay had for a long duration and she had some, major health issues because of this representing the stomach area. So that's the moon Rahu in Aries in her 6th house that caused the stomach problems and upsets in her body. So I just wanted you to better yet understand, what this house means. The 6th house, health, healing, diet, nutrition. But whenever you have the moon there ruling the stomach, you may have something to do with problems with digestion and specifically around the area of your stomach. So I hope you have a better idea and understanding to better understand the 6th house, the moon, and how these planets together can cause emotional upsets, but particularly relative to holding emotion in the stomach. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, if you would like a consultation, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to join my university, online university, you can go check it out on my website, University of Vedic Astrology. And remember, we have a new start date coming up here soon, which will be January 14th of 2020. Look forward to see you there. Thank you.